Hey everybody out there, Brad and Chris here with a Friday stretch video. I know what you're saying, man, those guys are wearing the same clothes they were wearing on Wednesday. Well, that's how we roll. So, we're gonna run through a stretch video today. Buzz is gonna lead it, but I thought we would try something a little different. All right, since these stretch videos are nice and slow, usually, not a ton of coaching like our exercise ones, I thought we could play a little game. So Buzz and I are going to play a round of 20 questions, movies. If you don't know how this game works, Buzz has got 20 yes or no questions that he can ask to figure out the movie that I'm thinking of. And you're welcome to play along at home. They do this in one of my favorite podcasts. They close out the podcast with 20 questions, and it's like the highlight of my week. So
I like it.
maybe this will give you something to entertain you while you stretch along with us. So, and if you hate it, then let us know in the comments. But
And mute it.
I figured it'd be better than the silence that our stretch class usually is. So,
That's true.
all right, take it away.
All right, we're going to start up on our feet. Also, if you haven't quite noticed in the video yet, before we jump into it, you're going to need a towel or a strap or something like that today to really help us dig into these stretches a little bit further. So make sure you have one of these handy nearby. I think we have to tuck down.
Are we too high?
We are too high, at least initially. So, Here we go. We're going to start with our feet together. Take a deep breath, hands out in front. Exhale and just reach down for those toes. Kind of see where you're at. We're not really stretching quite yet. We're letting gravity do the work. Just let yourself hang naturally. Focus on your breathing.
I'm pretty loose starting today off.
Yeah, look, you're already down there. Every time you take a deep breath in and exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Focus on pushing your hips back towards your heels. Slight bend in the knees so you can really focus on stretching those hamstrings and hips. And then we're going to stand up nice and slow and just simply reposition our feet by putting our right foot over our left and doing the same thing back down nice and easy. And you should feel a little bit more emphasis on that left leg, specifically the calf. Try to keep both feet nice and flat. All right.
Calf stretch important if you have knee pain. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to ask your first question.
That was. Is there a lead male actor only?
Yes. You got to ask these loud enough so that they can
Switch
hear it.
other foot. Left foot goes over right. Okay. Does he fall in love throughout the movie?
Yes, there's a love interest. I'm thinking one question per stretch,
Okay.
just so we space this out, you know?
That's fair. I thought I was going to get it. It's like you were going to start asking me if we were each going to do the game.
No,
No, it's just me.
just you.
Got it.
It's your show, buddy.
Gotcha. And back up. Very good. So now we're going to bring those feet together one more time. Deep breath. And back down. And hopefully we're a little bit further than before. Really focusing on pushing those hips back. Feeling a nice big stretch here. Well, technically that was one each side.
Yep. No, that's what I mean.
Okay. Is it a comedy?
Yes.
All right, so it's a comedy with male lead, love interest. 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right, so now we're going to go down to the floor.
And get back in frame.
Back in frame, of course. And we're going to start with our left leg out, right foot inside that left thigh. Remember, we're trying to keep this right knee down towards the floor. And then with that same left hand going for our left foot, reach, grab, and stretch. Will Ferrell in the movie?
No. You're getting awfully specific, awfully early in the
It
game.
was a big shot. It was a big shot. I was going off other factors. Good. Switch sides. Left foot comes inside the right thigh. Left knee goes down first. Then take that right foot over to that, or right hand over to your right foot and hold. Is the movie over 10 years old?
Yes. I picked one that everyone should know.
Yeah.
This is not going to be an obscure thing.
Alright, back up. Let's bring both feet together real quick. Butterfly stretch, heels in nice and tight. Bring our elbows in and try to push down on the inside of those legs. Feel a nice stretch here deep in our groin. Is the movie over 20 years old? Before 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
You're at 6.
That's good. Love interest. 20 years old. You're positive it's that old?
Yes, I just looked it up. I did my research before. How could you possibly have an idea?
Okay, I can ask a clarifying question. Does
Yeah.
that count? Like you said, there's only one male lead, correct?
Correct.
That doesn't count as a question.
Right. You're correct.
Good. All right, so now we're gonna go to our first stretch with the towel. I'm starting to get so focused on this game. I'm teaching a class here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to those hamstrings. You're gonna take your towel, you're gonna put it around kind of the mid to top of your foot. Make sure it's nice and secure. You don't want it slipping off mid-stretch. Your right foot's gonna go straight. The goal here is to keep that right leg on the ground. A lot of people, when they fall back to go to the stretch, they kind of forget about this and it goes by the wayside. So we're gonna get our right leg locked nice and straight. Pull back on that left leg, lean back nice and slow. Remember, right foot's on the floor, so if you can only come up not even at 90 degrees without that right foot moving, that's okay. That means this is where we're gonna start our stretch. So hold it right here.
What is this? A little hamstring, a little calf?
Little hamstring, little calf. So it's mostly hamstring, but you can make it calf by really focusing on pulling down the top of your foot, aka your toes towards your shin, the front of your shin there. And you really feel a nice stretch deep in your calf. If you don't want to feel it so much in your calf, you can pull a little bit more towards the back of your foot, really focus on your hamstring. Maybe you can put a slight bend in your knee to increase that stretch. We want to hold this one here for a nice long time, and you'll slowly start to feel you're increasing that range of motion.
This is a lot of calf for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of calf. Who's Jim Carrey in this movie?
Oh my God. Yes.
Like I said, I think I know. Now, for those of you that join us regularly for these Friday stretches, you'll know that I always say my favorite transition is our up dog or ab stretch into our child's pose, but probably my second favorite stretching uses this towel. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it now. We're stretching this left hamstring. We're going to transition right over to stretching our left hip and glute by letting that left leg fall across the midline of our body all the way over to the other side, trying to keep both shoulders down on the floor You have to drop your heel closer towards your right knee, that's okay. But you should feel a nice stretch here in your hip and glute. Once you feel that stretch and you have your shoulders pinned, I want you to think about pulling that towel in your foot up towards your nose or your right ear like a clock hand. And the further you can pull it up, the more you're going to feel that stretch right here on that left side.
Invading your space.
That's okay. Is Jim Carrey wearing a mask in this movie?
Yes. How did you do that?
Well, there's only so many classic like comedies before the 2000s. So I thought it was either Jim Carrey or a Bill Murray movie.
You know what the funny thing is? The first one I was thinking about was Stripes.
Oh, I would have never gotten Stripes. I was going to say Caddyshack or Groundhog Day. One of those. Stripes would have got me. But I was either going to say Mask or Ace Ventura. Good. Relax. And from that laying position, we're going to put our right foot into our little towel nook here. Again, make sure it's secure. Left foot is flat on the floor. The back of our left leg's flat on the floor. And we're just pulling through that hamstring.
That's it. The mask.
So it's my turn. I thought of a movie.
All right.
I was
Okay.
prepared for this.
All right. Is your movie a comedy?
No.
How straight are you trying to keep your leg when you do this?
So I like to alternate between super straight, like pushing the back of my knee out, and then slight bend in that same knee to increase that range of motion. So it's just depending on where you want to feel the stretch. But I'm a big fan of what I like to call dynamic isometric stretches, which is kind of counterintuitive, but I like a little bit of movement to my stretches. Just to kind of continue to work through that range of motion. Keep it nice and fluid. And just like that other side, we're going to grab that leg and let it fall over across the midline. Now we're going left. Oh, that's a good stretch. Try to keep that right shoulder pinned down. And really feel that stretch in your hips and your glutes.
Is your movie an action movie?
Yes, I'll consider that. But full transparency, some may also consider it a horror.
All right.
Depending on the definition of it. Some good stretching.
Yeah.
My right hip is tight. We might hold this one a little longer. 10 seconds. You ever find one of these stretches you're just feeling really good and you find a real tight spot that you're really wanting to work through?
No.
Feel free to just hang out all day. I'm just kidding, don't do that. Alright, we're going back to the middle. So now we gotta just stretch our hips and hammies. Now we're gonna hit the front side here. You can put your towel off to the side for now. We're gonna do a quad stretch. Pulling our right foot back, kind of tucking it behind that front leg there, trying to keep it locked. Left leg is straight. And then if that's not enough of a stretch, you can slowly start to lean forward and feel that pull right there in your quad. The goal is to try to get that knee in nice and tight to that midline. Really focus on that stretch.
Mine's the calves, man.
Is it?
My calves are so tight.
We'll get after him again.
Is your movie from before 2000?
I'd have to look it up, but I would assume yes.
Horror action from before 2000.
We're going to transition this stretch right over into another hip slash quad stretch by just dropping our left leg in front at a 90-degree angle, keeping that right foot kind of where it is, and just leaning forward, really targeting that left hip here. This one we won't hold as long.
This one's tight.
Yeah, look at that.
Whoa.
If you have to kick your right leg out, you can kick it out. The focus here is really getting down nice and deep and stretching out that left side.
Woo.
Feeling it. It's good. And then you can slowly sit up. Back to start, both legs forward. Tuck that left foot back, stretching that left quad now. Oh, oh,
That is tight.
dang, I can't get it under.
Woo. Does your horror action movie feature multiple antagonists? You put it this way.
By definition, yes, but
Okay.
don't focus on that because it might throw you off. But yes.
All right. How many questions am I at?
That's 4. All right, then we're going to transition over to that right hip, bend the right leg, right across the front here, keep the left where it's at. Slowly lean forward, trying to get onto those elbows and forearms. Feeling that stretch in the right.
Is the threat in this movie a human being?
No.
So this isn't like an I know what you did last summer thing where it's a human in a mask.
That's not a question.
That's not a question.
Good, back to the middle. And then we're gonna do one more butterfly, but we're gonna do that back version of it. So we're keeping our feet together way out in front of us here so that we can grab them. Lean down, trying to get our chest close to the floor. Really feeling a nice stretch in our low back, upper back, shoulders, even our hips and growing a bit. But this is kind of getting us ready to move on to another part of the body.
Is this movie well received?
Yes. Good. Like I said, we weren't going to hold that one very long. We're going to go back to our hips, though, one more time. I know we said we are going to move on, but just for myself and I hear Brad, too, it sounds like those are tight areas. So we're going to go on to what Brad so aptly describes as the pretzel stretch, and I think that's pretty appropriate. So what we're going to do is bring our right foot across that left knee, get it secure there, reach down with both hands underneath that left thigh, and if you want, you can either go down there already like Brad, or if you need to, get yourself secure first, and then lean back into it. And by pulling on that left thigh and bringing that left knee and your right foot in, you should feel a nice stretch down here in your right hip. This is where we're going to hold.
I know the other side.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's all right.
Is the lead character in this movie female?
No.
Male.
All right. that's going to be left foot going across the right knee, reaching down with my hands, grabbing that right thigh, and falling over on myself. Fall back when you're ready. Let's stretch that left or right hip, depending on which side you're falling over. When you're like all pretzel up, I couldn't get out. This is happening.
Does this movie take place on Earth?
Yes.
Okay, so not a human on Earth. Early 2000s, late 90s horror action.
All right, slowly release. Back to the front. Again, our hips are tight, so we're focusing on them, and we're showing you a bunch of different ways you can get after them. So last one we're going to do for our hips is just a nice, another form of the hip flexor stretch by coming up on our knees here. Take a big step forward with your right leg, still staying nice and straight with the upper body. And then all you're going to do is slowly start pushing those hips forward towards that right foot. Feeling a nice stretch here in your hips. If that's still not enough, I like to take my left arm, cross it on the outside of my right leg, and turn that upper body. As I turn my upper body away, I'm pushing this knee in towards the midline to activate this right hip down here and feel that stretch. But not only am I stretching my right hip when I do this twist, I'm also opening up this left hip down here. So it's kind of a 2-for-1.
If you work at a desk all day, you need to do this stretch. Or if you're somebody like me who squats
A lot.
several times a week,
Several
a lot.
tons of weight. As you hold these stretches, if you feel you're loosening up too much where you're just not feeling it, then reset yourself and get down a little deeper. So if you need to kick that foot out a little further, you can kick that foot out a little further. You can bring your chest down into it. Again, like I said, you can go into that twist.
You can also grab the back foot, or put the back foot on a chair or something.
Good. Reset. Right foot goes back. Left foot comes forward. Ooh, this side's tight.
Yeah. Is the threat in this movie from outer space?
Nope.
Supernatural? Like a ghost or
No. That's definitely two questions.
Great. It's not a human, not an alien, not a ghost.
Good. All right, now we're going on to both our favorites. We're going to start on our stomach. Big stretch forward with the arms. Crawl your fingertips out as far as you can. Take a nice deep breath in and out, just kind of opening up the back, stretching out the spine. And then we're going to pull those hands in underneath our chest, elbows in tight. And you're going to press up that upper body. Trying to lock your elbows, trying to drop your hips down to the floor, letting that low back, shoulder blade, all those different areas get nice and loose. If you find your shoulders and arms are struggling to hold yourself up, just hold it as long as you can to feel that stretch in your back. Then lower yourself down slow, kind of catch your breath, and go right back up. Another way to do this too that I found out is if you really can't hold it, then almost treat it like a stretch push-up. So you go down, up for 1 to 2, back down, up for 1 to 2, you want to try to work on holding it longer and longer each time until you can hold it as a nice long stretch. And then, as I alluded to, my favorite transition ever from stretching is from here, taking your hips, pushing them back onto your heels, right into child's pose. You can bring your knees together, you can flare them out, but the goal is to get your hips back on your heels, arms are stretched. I like to drop my forehead to the floor. And then last but not least, from your elbow down to your wrist, think about pushing those areas through the floor, activating and thus opening up your lats, your rear delts, all that good stuff.
Is this movie part of a franchise?
Yes.
And you're thinking of the first one? Are you thinking of the first one?
First one what?
Of movie in the franchise?
No. That's a good follow. A little bit longer and back to a seated position. All right, we're gonna finish here a little faster than the rest of them. Doing a couple shoulder stretches, neck stretch. You wanna get that chest stretch in there?
Yep.
Sure. So I'm gonna go cross-legged. You can sit whatever's comfortable for you. Take your right arm, stick it out in front, bring it across your chest, grab it with your left forearm, make sure it's behind that right elbow, pull it across, and then last part, make sure that chin is tucked over the outside of that shoulder so you're looking the opposite direction to really focus on the outside.
Is this movie based on some other form of media, like a book or something?
You know, I'm not sure, but I would say no.
Are you thinking of the second movie in the franchise?
Yes. And switch, same thing, left arm comes across the chest, grab with the right forearm, pull behind the elbow, tuck the chin.
Is the main threat in this movie a robot?
No. Good. Same seated position, we're going to take that right arm, reach nice and tall, and then drop the hand back behind your neck, trying to crawl down your spine, and then take your left hand, pull that right elbow to reach your fingertips further down that spine, stretching out our tricep here.
Is the threat some sort of a monster or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And switch. Left arm straight, reach back, grab with the right, pull the elbow, crawl the fingertips down, big tricep stretch.
I don't know.
You got like 6 more questions.
Is the lead main actor or actresses, lead main actor, is he still relevant today? Still getting starring roles?
Starring roles?
Yeah.
No. And relax. Couple neck stretches. We're going to start with our neck coming down to our chest, and then leaking all the way up to the sky, chin to the ceiling. And I just want you to work through each of those nice and slow. You can see Brad is looking at a deeper stretch for his neck by pulling on the back of his head under control to really lengthen all that muscle tissue. After you've done about 4 or 5 each direction, we're going to go side to side. So side to side can mean 2 things. You can go left to right, chin to shoulder, or you can go like how Brad is, where you reach across with the opposite hand and try to pull your ear down to your shoulder. So the downward pull is going to feel a nice stretch on the sides. This is really good, like he said, if you sit at a desk where you have a lot of tension in your neck. But if you're just feeling already pretty loose, I'm switching over to the other side. You can just work on range of motion by turning your head left and right.
Is this franchise still active? Are they still making movies?
Yes. That's gonna throw you off. All right, last one. We're running a little long today, but we're having so much fun watching Brad struggle both physically and mentally. We're gonna work on a chest thrust. That's actually close. We're gonna take our left arm, stretch it out, keeping that left elbow straight while bending our right arm and stretching out that chest by dropping our body and our shoulder down to the floor, opening up that chest and shoulders joint connection area, whatever you want to call it. This works really well if you're doing it on a hard surface where you can kind of get almost like a sticking motion from your hand. You can kind of pull your body away while your hand remains in place.
Mm-hmm.
And then switch sides. Right arm out, nice and straight. Left arm is bent.
I don't even know where to go.
He's done.
Well, we're done on time, so
All right, we're done on time. Let's finish this stretch.
I've got an idea, but it's only if you answered one of the questions wrong.
Okay, well, we're gonna go back to start. Let's see if he gets it, folks. What do you think it is?
I'm leaning towards the Lost World,
Which is what?
Jurassic Park.
So what did I answer incorrect? That's correct. but
It's
what
based on a book. Michael Crichton wrote them.
I said I'm not sure, but I think not.
I got it.
He got it. He got it. We got a little worried there, but he got it. As always, thanks for joining us. Hope you liked our little spin on it today. I thought that was pretty fun too, kept us activated. Hopefully you got those right at home. If you did, leave us a comment down in the comment section or shoot us an email at virtual wellness.
Virtual wellness.
Virtual
It's
wellness.
been the same for
It's
like
been
a
the same
month.
for a few months now. At tryout.com. Likes on the videos is great. Share them with your friends and family, or mostly just anyone interested in trying to be more healthy. I'm Buzz.
I'm Brad. Bye.